Welcome to the Griot Tales. This is your home for African folk tales where the magic of storytelling meets timeless wisdom. I'm Marcos, your griot, a storyteller, historian, and guide. My name is Musa, and what I'm about to tell you happened when I was just 12 years old, in my quiet village of Odokro, nestled near the hills of Asafuo. It's a story I've never fully understood, but it's one that changed my family's life forever. It began during the dry season when Harmattan winds swept across the village, leaving our throats dry and the air heavy with dust. My younger sister Amma, who was 8 at the time, was the kind of child who never stayed still. If she wasn't chasing chickens around the compound, she was climbing the ancient baobab tree in the center of our village, trying to see the world from its highest branch. Amma had a laugh that could make even the grumpiest elder smile, and her curiosity was as wide as the Akosombo River. But that season, something about Amma began to change. It started with small things. She would stop playing mid-game and stare into the distance, her head tilted as though she was listening to someone. I'd call her name, but she wouldn't respond until I shook her shoulder. At first, I thought it was just her being strange, but then I noticed something else. She had started talking to someone who wasn't there. "Musa, did you see her?" she asked one afternoon as we pounded fufu in the courtyard. "See who?" I asked, glancing around. "The girl in the yellow cloth," Amma said, pointing toward the large neem tree by our compound. I followed her gaze but saw nothing. Just the tree, its branches swaying slightly in the wind. "There's no one there, Amma." "Stop playing," I said, but she frowned at me like I was the one being ridiculous. "She's right there," she insisted. "She's smiling at me." At first, I thought it was just her imagination. Children have a way of making up stories, don't they? But as the days passed, her behavior grew stranger. She began spending long hours alone under the neem tree, speaking in hushed tones. Once, I crept close to hear what she was saying, and my heart froze. "She says she's lonely," Amma whispered. "She wants me to play with her all the time." There was something about the way she spoke. Her voice wasn't playful or teasing. It was serious, as though she was truly talking to someone. That night, I told our mother about it. Mama, who was always busy either selling yams at the market or preparing food for the family, brushed it off. "Amma has an active imagination," she said, stirring a pot of light soup over the fire. "She'll grow out of it." But I wasn't convinced. Things took a darker turn about a week later. I woke up one night to the sound of footsteps in the courtyard. The moon was full, casting a pale light over our compound. I looked across the room and saw that Amma's mat was empty. Panicking, I grabbed a lantern and ran outside. That's when I saw her. She was standing near the neem tree, staring into the shadows. "Amma!" I called out, running toward her. She turned to me, her face pale and her eyes wide. "She called me Musa. She called my name. She said she wanted to show me something." My heart pounded in my chest. Who? Who called you?" "The girl," she said, as though it was the most obvious thing in the world. I grabbed her hand and dragged her back into the house, but I barely slept that night. Who was this girl she kept talking about? And why was Amma acting like this? The next day, I decided to speak to my grandmother, Nana Essie. She was the oldest woman in the village and knew everything about our history, our customs, and the spirits that sometimes walked among us. When I told her about Amma and the invisible girl, Nana Essie's face grew serious. She tapped her walking stick on the ground thoughtfully. "The neem tree by your house," she said slowly. "Did you know it was planted to mark the grave of a little girl who died many years ago?" I shook my head, a chill running down my spine. "She was an only child," Nana Essie continued. "Her parents died during the Great Famine, and she was left to fend for herself. She was often seen wandering the village, begging for food. When she died, no one claimed her body, so the elders planted the neem tree over her grave to protect her spirit." "But why would she be calling Amma?" I asked, my voice trembling. Nana Essie looked at me with eyes that seemed to pierce right through me. "Sometimes, spirits grow lonely. They latch on to those they feel a connection with. Perhaps Amma's playful spirit reminds her of the life she never had." I felt a lump in my throat. What do we do, Nana? She sighed. We must perform a cleansing ritual to help her spirit find peace. But first, you must make sure Amma doesn't play with her anymore. The longer this spirit stays attached to her, the harder it will be to send her away. That evening I told Amma everything Nana Essie had said. She was scared at first, but then she grew angry. She's my friend, she shouted. She's not bad, Musa. She's just lonely. It broke my heart to see her like that, but I knew I had to protect her. Over the next few days, I kept a close eye on her, never letting her go near the neem tree. She cried and begged, but I stayed firm. Finally, the day of the cleansing ritual arrived. Nana Essie and the village elders gathered around the neem tree, their faces solemn. They brought offerings of food, water, and white cloth, and they chanted prayers to the ancestors. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell to join our storytelling community. Have a story you'd love to hear? Share your ideas in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.